to Winging It in the Kitchen with Gina. Today we are going to make Cynthia's spicy shredded pork. It's an unbelievable recipe. You don't want to miss it. Let's do this. Okay, so today we are going to make Cynthia's spicy shredded pork. It's an unbelievable shredded pork recipe. If you love any kind of spice, it's really amazing. It's another one of Ree Drummond's recipes. I love most of her recipes. The only difference is that she calls for putting it in a Dutch oven, and I'm not gonna be here. I need to leave for a few hours, run some errands, so I wanna put mine in the crock pot. So it calls for 4 pounds of pork shoulder. What I've done is I actually purchased 2 small ones. It's about 5 to 6 pounds. I'm basically doubling the recipe because we're bringing dinner to somebody tonight that had surgery. So what I did is I went ahead and took the pork shoulder, fried it in very hot olive oil, salt and peppered both sides, and just gave it a nice, I don't know if you can see that, a nice brown color. Basically, it's gonna do what the Dutch oven would do over a couple hours. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make the sauce, put it on top, and then crock pot it for about 6 hours, and it's gonna be unbelievable. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move this out of my way. And what you want to do is you want to start by putting some onion in the food processor. And you don't have to chop it up too little because the processor will do that for you. Now I go out of order a little bit from what Ree does on her recipe. It really doesn't matter. If you are an exact recipe follower, it's perfectly fine. Follow the recipe exactly as she has it. I like to throw my onion in first. Give it a good little spin, and then add all my spices. Again, I am doubling the recipe, so what I read to you, I'm not actually doing. So if you see me putting 2 onions in, then that is why, even though it only calls for 1. All right, let's just grain that a little bit. Woo, those onions. Okay, it's gonna call for a teaspoon of oregano. Now, usually I buy big quantities of oregano, basil, that kind of thing at Costco. For some reason, they were out the last time I looked, so I had to buy a little one. But I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Did you know that most spices can be found on the Mexican spice aisle in your grocery store for so much less? Oregano, for example, actually comes in these little packs, just like you see here. I am going to be putting cumin in this recipe. Now, this little bottle was probably close to $5. However, I purchased this for $1, and so basically I buy these little refill ones and just refill my bottles. So, nice way to save money. It's exactly the same spices. Okay, so this recipe calls for a teaspoon of dried oregano. I'm just gonna, a lot of times I'll just pour it in my hand. I'm just gonna do 2 teaspoons there. 1 teaspoon of cumin. Remember, I'm doubling it, so if you're just doing 1. Now, I don't ever exact measure, you know, this is kind of heaping, but I honestly love the taste of cumin. I'm actually gonna put 1.5 it because I love cumin so much. And then chili powder. I ordered a bunch from Penzeys. It's delicious, but again, I just usually buy the packets in the Mexican food aisle because they're just so much cheaper. It does call for a tablespoon of salt. Oh, you know, I wanted to do that little test. So I told you that I just measure kind of, sort of, because if you're plus or minus, it's not a big deal. Here's my teaspoon. Let's see how I did. Look at that. Not too bad. All right, let's just do that again. So there you have it. You just have to envision a tablespoon in your hand and pour, or a teaspoon, whatever it is. Okay, it does call for brown sugar in this recipe, so it's gonna have some spicy and some sweet. I am telling you, this recipe is amazing. The one really amazing thing about it is that you put it in your crock pot for, 6-7 hours. It just tears apart so nicely. You can have it over potatoes. We like to have it in burritos, so I will strain the meat, get a lot of the juice out, and fire up some tortillas, and put cheese and all the fixins and have amazing burritos. Then the next day, or 2 days later, my husband will take that same pork and he will do a really high heat of some oil and fry a thin layer of that pork and on both sides, and then you've got pork nachos. You just put that over some nachos and some more cheese. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. So it's great if you do extra, you know, you can kind of use it for a couple other recipes. All right, white wine vinegar. I'll go ahead and measure this out. And I put my brown sugar in, and I'm gonna mix that up again. You know what I did not do is my, and I'm gonna add my garlic. It calls for 3 to 4 cloves, so I'm gonna put 8. I know it seems like a lot of garlic, but it's worth it, I promise. Saving time, just putting those garlic pieces in with the peel on, and it just pushes right through. And then I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the sides a bit and give this one last jingle. If only you knew how this smelled right now. It's unbelievable. All right, just push all this out of the way. Oops. Okay, I'm just gonna push this out of the way. And now we've got our pork here, and basically you're just gonna pour all of this on. Oh, this smells heavenly. You really want to try to get it in all the nooks and crannies of the pork. So I'm just going to kind of use my fingers and pull the pieces apart there and make sure it really gets in there. Okay, that's it. We are gonna put this in the crock pot on high for about 6 hours and check it and see how it is. Doesn't this look amazing? Oh my gosh, if only you could smell it. Oh, it smells so good. And after 6 hours, you can see that it just easily pulls apart. It will be melt in your mouth pork. It'll be some great burritos. So basically what we'll do is just brown our tortillas a little bit on the fire on the stove, and then add whatever fixings we want. I love cilantro, we've got cheese, sour cream, some little hot sauce. Basically, you can put in it whatever you'd like. And then don't forget, tomorrow, if you feel like having nachos tomorrow night, fry up the rest of the pork. And it is just unbelievable, the flavoring that you're gonna get on those nachos. Delicious. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please let me know what you like about it, what you don't like. Maybe you have a similar recipe that you really love. I'd love to try it. Leave it down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope your plate is full. Have a great day.